Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Growing Full Circle podcast. I am your host, Dominique, and thank you for joining me today. For those of you who follow the podcast, it has been some time since our last episode. I appreciate you continued support of the show. And once again, thank you for coming by and seeing what we're going to discuss today. I felt it was important to use my voice this morning as I was evaluating some of the energy that I have been feeling in my own life. And I have come to understand that it was me feeling overwhelmed. And the overwhelming feeling comes from my own ambition to be on the frontier of helping humanity in such a profound way. I feel like I'm not close to that in any way. And that's where that overwhelming feeling comes in for me in my experience, as I am someone who's always striving, who is always looking for the next goal to overcome. Once I achieve something, it feels as if I can't allow myself to be complacent in it, to enjoy the moment of that accomplishment. I feel it's not enough to simply live my life presently within my thoughts and not have that same mentality when it comes to my emotions per se. I feel the wavelength, the energetic feeling. I have an understanding of what that is inside of me, and I know what to do to correct it. And that's something that I am grateful for. And that brings me to today's topic, which is about gratitude and talking to your parents. And we're going to get to talking to your parents a little later on. But gratitude is something that I am coming to know wholeheartedly as I continue to incorporate it more into my life, and understanding that change, in a way, it's okay to sit in it. Because life isn't going to move any faster just because we desire it to. Just because I myself feel as if I am ready for the things that I envision for myself doesn't mean the things around me are. And releasing that control is extremely hard. But I've learned through meditation and through the guides on my shoulders that dipping in and embracing that tightness, the heaviness, the fear that comes with feeling and emotion is a part of the journey of embracing what reality and what life and what the universe and what God has for us. Every emotion for me has to be leaned into in order for me to understand it. That is the totality of removing what some people call the fear virus. Being able to overcome the pressure energetically. understanding that you are light and meet that force with your lighting force and overcome it. That overwhelming feeling that I discussed, gratitude is what that force, that combative force was. In that overwhelming energy, I felt bored and being in a routine where I felt like I could expand in. And the boredom part is so related to time. And in a way where I feel within myself that I deserve to be like this old man not having to do nothing because I done did it all in a way. But that's not something I can achieve now. I'm so young, I have to wait to get there. And the reason I use that example, and it's because, like, let's say the end goal of having a career, a work life, is to be able to retire, to be able to amass enough money where you can be able to afford a lifestyle where you can do nothing. So the goal of going to work every day was in order to go to work another day in order to get to that point, And that for me is a feeling that I don't want in my life. That attachment to time where as long as I keep going, then eventually things are going to happen. Now, not to say that that isn't true. That is completely true. But the contradiction is what this experience is. It's a balancing. It's like this crazy balancing act where it doesn't make sense, and that's the point. How can I explain this? Let's say we can continue with the example. This illusion of time where we are not these infinite beings who can't attract things has to be balanced with the portion of us being human beings living within this 3D reality. So having this energetic feeling of attracting everything that I want, meaning attracting a lifestyle where I can live like a retiree on money that supports my lifestyle, and understanding that I'm already there in a way, energetically, but still understanding that I'm human and I still have to go to work. And this balancing act is what life is. And eventually it converges, from my understanding. And I say that from a place of gratitude, because as I have been coming out of my overwhelming energy, it has been due to realigning myself with self-love. And going back always brings up things as well. which is the great part about this, and remembering that just a few years ago, I was this single, no kids, living in a loft apartment, studio apartment, excuse me, and I was trying to figure out, if I still wanted to keep doing acting. Not even really getting into the acting. Just keep doing what? YouTube? Whatever I was doing. But even then, like, life shifting in a way exactly how I asked it to. And sitting within this energy and understanding the gratitude for it and not feeling saddened that the growth has been there, that I have matured, and that the things that I was so desperately trying to get out of when I was in it, to not think like that is something that wasn't needed. The time between the two and that journey was needed for me to continue to grow. So as I sit in this overwhelming energy of trying to solve the world's problems in a day and going back to self-love and continuing to understand where I came from and how much I've grown, has brought me back to understanding now that it's okay to continue to grow. And even though I don't see it now, back then I didn't see it either. So balancing, understanding that I already have everything that I need and everything that I will ever want, and understanding that I still need to go get it is the crazy balancing act. And it's a part of the experience that I love. And gratitude did it for me. So while we're on the subject of gratitude, I want to transition into more of my thespianism. I'm a part of an organization called Toastmasters International. And if you're not familiar with it, it's an organization that helps with public speaking. And I recently have done a speech. And even though I did receive some good evaluation during my performance of the speech, I myself feel like I could have done so much better in terms of my delivery and the impact of the speech that I wanted everyone to kind of feel. Even during the speech, I felt my energy dipping from what I had envisioned myself performing. So I was kind of disappointed. So I want a second shot. I want to do this how I envision myself being able to do this by reading the paper. I feel like I could have delivered this better from memorization. And granted, I'm going to do this now. This isn't the same space as it would be performing in front of people. However, I think it could still provide the impact that I'm looking for, even if you can't visibly see the hand motions and the body language that comes with delivering an impactful speech. So with that being said, it's a speech about gratitude and how, I just want you to hear the speech and formulate your own opinion, because I'll tell you what the speech is about in the speech, so I don't need to tell you before I give you the speech. So, without further ado, my speech is called Information, Our Grandest Commodity. So, obviously, you're going to hear me give the speech as if I was there. So yeah, you know, here we go. Hello, I am happy to be here to share the space with everyone today. In my experience, Toastmasters is allowing me to practice skills and gain knowledge from perspectives of all who attend. Thus, thank you for committing the energy to be here today. Showing gratitude brings humanity closer together, and I myself wouldn't have it any other way. Through an intentional gratitude practice, I have learned ways in which practice of gratitude can improve our mental health and change our brains. Studies have shown that gratitude can have benefits across social, physical, and psychological factors such as less body aches, better sleep patterns, stronger interpersonal relationships, positive thoughts, and increased self-satisfaction. I am simply amazed at how the act of showing appreciation for kindness uplifts us. And I am truly thankful for the people that I continue to share scientific research to bring us more clarity in our lives. My speech today is titled Information, Our Grandest Commodity. However, my commitment to putting energy into presenting this speech comes from my own personal experiences with the power of gratitude. I was inspired to write this after agreeing to teach about the subject of gratitude at an online event outside of my offices of AEG as an intuitive spiritual coach. My inspiration arises from remembering why I am passionate about helping people reach their goals, and it is due to my own passion for information. As most of you know, I am an information technology professional, so I know my way around a piece of tech. However, recently, through committing more energy into gratitude, I have experienced a fonder appreciation for the depths of information. Underneath all the lights, the purpose of our technology is to share information. From the internet all the way back to the first shapes, humanity has created tools and different technologies for the advancement of our life experiences. By sharing information, the world has connected in ways our ancestors could not have fathomed from their perspective. However, gratitude has shown me that it is because of our past that we have our present. Understanding the balance to appreciate our past and look toward our future invigorates me to grow through knowledge. Information assimilated through collaboration with humanity is fantastic, magnificent even. Whether it's social media engaging us to express ourselves, or our peers sharing a new method of taking action, I feel information that is based in reality is essential to the growth in life. However, in the age of technology, this majestic feat can often appear as ordinary due to commonality. Take our phones, for example. Most smartphones have about 13 different components: a display, a battery, a chip, memory, storage, modem, a camera, and various sensors such as a digital compass, proximity sensor, and even thermometers. The information needed to research, create, develop, and assemble these components into a common device is a grand feat indeed. But as we look deeper, it is the information from people that truly assembled these components. Knowledge. The knowledge we receive from our parents, our teachers, our authors, our artists, are passed down to enrich our lives and in turn the lives of others. Every single life is precious and has value no matter how significant or insignificant the role or perspective is perceived. From my experiences, humanity is worthy of love, and in part thanks to the information we continue to develop and share. In closing, I want to leave you with a simple message. In times in which war and uncompromising disputes are at the forefront of our news, I challenge us all to think about practicing more gratitude for ourselves and those around us. A gratitude practice can look different for everyone. However, you can engage in activities such as a gratitude meditation, writing thank you notes that you may or may not send, or expressing your appreciation to someone in person. These exercises can help reinforce the habit of gratitude and deepen your appreciation for the experiences of life. Thank you. As you heard, gratitude has afforded me a lot of things that I appreciate within my life. And on this journey, one of those things has been the appreciation for the relationship with my mother, my only parent. I don't know where the other guy went, but raising me the way that she did, I truly appreciate the communication. And the relationship was built on trust through honesty. And it's how I'm building a relationship with my own children where I may not be perfect. I may not do everything that you understand, but the door is going to always be open for us to have a discussion about it. Express your feelings. I'll express mine, and we'll figure it out at the end of the day. I don't care if anyone in this world is mad at me, but we gonna have a discussion, or you gonna be sitting in your feelings and I'm gonna keep living my life. So I truly appreciate that, because it allows for us to detach from emotions or perspectives that aren't ingrained in reality, that isn't my perspective in a way on how I'm disciplining them. Like, yeah, I need you to go to timeout and think about what you did. If you don't agree with it, let's talk about it, because you know what you did was kind of fucked up. So that dialogue is something that I appreciate so much of my mother, because she is the same way with me, and where I always felt like I could express myself. Even though I feel as if she held so much back from herself, but I now, as a parent, understand why she did it more so, even though that's not who I am and my character. I feel as if parenting is just really tough. It really is. And anyone who is a parent can understand, or hopefully has come to understand, that it's truly about building relationships like with any other human. And that means that you are both not going to understand one another. And understanding that as a baseline is part of what unconditional love is, you know? But also understanding that we are all made from unconditional love, made from this godly force. And if you got that within your self-love, you can build any relationship, in my opinion. But back to the parenting, you know. When you don't have that, talking to your kids and talking to your parents can be a struggle. And from my experience, I had to, in a way, force myself to have a relationship with my mother the way that I wanted the relationship to be on an emotional level. I grew up feeling like I wasn't receiving enough love from the people around me. And that comes from like stuff as simple as like getting some hugs, understanding the things that I wanted to do in a way, understanding that I needed space at times, just different things like that. As you grow up in a house with siblings and even with your parents, like you don't know each other. And as a child, trying to figure out what this world is and what you like and don't like is really a tough position to be in. Regardless if all your other needs are being met, like you don't have to worry about, having a roof over your head and bills and all the things that us as parents take care of for our children. It is hard trying to understand what the hell this life is. For one, how did I get here? Oh, what is that? So everything is red? Only certain things are red? Just the context of I can do this here, but I can't do this here. But can I do it here? What is it even here? And trying to figure out these emotions and, why does things hurt in life? The things as adults we have already come to our own understanding of. So it's not the forefront of our minds. It's kind of hard to go back to that place of this childlike curiosity because all the information is already gained. That's one reason I appreciate information so much, because once you gain it, it's there and you're able to grow with it. And I see that in my children so much because as I was feeling this overwhelmed energy, it felt like me telling them every day to pick up a toy was, heavy. But then I'll see that things that I have been saying so much are being done without me having to ask. And it was everything that I had been saying, I don't want to have to continue to say this to you. I need you to, to remember. And seeing that growth is those moments to understanding to bring me back to that love within myself as well, to say that living in the present and balancing doing and the repetitiveness of giving them information until they understand the information and are able to take that information and incorporate it into their own life. And when they become an adult, and it's going to be something to where they have been given that information, so they no longer have to worry about it. They can continue to grow and focus on other things. And that's the part of being a parent. So living in the present, living in the moments, living in the mundane, ordinary days, that's a perspective. Changing the perspective and evaluating that every day, every mundane act, every small little bit is precious to the end goal. And I understood, trying to build my relationship with my mother, that if I needed to get information out of her, I had to talk to her every day. To the point where the rest of everyone else within the family knew that no matter what, they would talk every day. When people say anything about my mother, my first response is, what? I talk to my mother every day. For those of you who don't know much about my life, my mother has been very sick for like about 4 years. So like the past maybe like year or two, those everyday conversations just have begun to shrunk. To the point now I need to call someone else in order to talk to my mother. And seeing someone be sick is heavy. And overcoming the idea of time coming to an end is due to the gratitude of understanding that time is that an illusion, that the everyday never stopped in my heart, that when the time on this earth ends, that's just another conversation that I'm going to have on my shoulder. And when you know, you know. So I am truly thankful for the information that I continue to receive in my life, the growth that I continue to gain every day, the tools that I have to release the heaviness, release the emotion of underachieving, overachieving, of achieving, and simply being present and attracting the life that I want and that I feel aligns with my journey and my path and with my heart is something that I sit and strive for every day. Man, I think it's getting to the point where I'm ready to wrap the episode. However, I really wanted to give y'all more information about how to talk to your parents. Like just some tips that I have found to be very useful, not only for children, honestly, but specifically for us as adults, especially going into holiday seasons. I hear a lot of experiences from people who don't have open channel communication with their parents, even as adults. So just a few things to note is that one thing that has helped me tremendously, first of all, is understanding that my parent is also a human, having a human experience, and has the same questions and has the same struggles as everyone else. And just because they're our parents, that doesn't mean that they have it all together. That's first and foremost. Second is understanding who they are. And this is big because as humans, we all have personalities and things that trigger us in ways that we can speak to one another where clear communication can be had. And doing that with your parent is tough depending on, obviously how you were raised. So one tip I just have is make sure you always come first and foremost with self-love and understanding that you're going to put yourself first, and then also understand that regardless of the situation, loving that person should be coming second, and then third should be the experience. So whatever happens is just something that is happening. It is not a reflection of you. Your emotions are a reflection of things that happen what's inside you, but also your parents' emotions are as well. And it's not your responsibility to heal other people. But if you want to have a relationship with someone, you have to meet them where they're at. But that just means that you also need to not give and sacrifice your own self-love for that. So it's this crazy balancing act where it takes every day. If that's something that you desire, I'm a firm believer of putting energy into it. Me, myself, as I mentioned, I felt like I forced a relationship to where I made sure I was the one to call. Don't expect someone to have a relationship with you just off of the sake of a title. And not to say that they don't love you any less. People are people. Their perspectives are their perspectives. So if they feel like you're okay, maybe they felt like they don't need to call all the time. Or maybe there was a point where they felt you didn't think that they didn't think you wanted them to act in a certain way. Without clear communication, you can't understand someone's perspective. So the last thing is just to talk. Experience, then talk. And continue the trend of balancing the two until you reach a point where you are comfortable with that relationship. Everything is about, context. So without specifics, examples, I can't really dive into it. Maybe I should teach a class, get some visuals going, get some examples, hear some people's thoughts. But I hope this helped. Thank you for joining. This was a joy for me, and I hope you were able to gain some value from it as well. And again, I truly appreciate you showing up here today and providing your energy, and hope to see you on the next episode. So make sure you get some gratitude practice in today. Love yourself and enjoy your experience in life. Until next time, peace.